Alright, so here we are. Raw is over the night after Elimination Chamber. The way the Chamber ended last night had a lot of fans pissed off beyond belief. I can't say I blame them. The WWE creative did kind of make it look like Daniel Bryan was going to win. Fans kind of expected it. Fans are really sick and tired of Daniel Bryan getting screwed over every week after week, month after month, pay-per-view after pay-per-view. Fans really thought that this would be the one that Bryan wins, especially with the rumors flying around that Bryan may actually win the Chamber and plans being changed. So expectations were high going into Raw tonight and this week, especially with rumors of with the announcement of Hulk Hogan returning and the rumors of the Undertaker returning and all that stuff. Then throw Ric Flair on top of that. Expectations were running high. In a lot of ways, WWE delivered, but they absolutely had to if they were going to keep the fans, especially after Elimination Chamber. Raw kicked off, obviously, with Hulk Hogan coming out, talking about 30 years ago with WrestleMania and how historic tonight was with the WWE Network. I honestly expected Hogan to come out either mid-show or the end of the show but good move to have him come out to kick off the show. After that, a couple matches were announced. Daniel Bryan versus Kane. Batista versus Alberto Del Rio happened, during which Del Rio ended up defeating Batista after a distraction from Randy Orton, thus kicking off the Orton-Batista Road to WrestleMania feud that nobody wants to see, but still, it's happening, regardless of whether we want it to happen or not. Batista heel turn is being teased right now. There's a lot of stuff being teased. But Alberto Del Rio, rumored to be leaving the WWE this year after his contract is up. It looks like ADR could be turning face with this Batista feud, which is interesting. But after Randy Orton's theme music hit, Del Rio used a distraction to roll up Batista for a 1-2-3. This leading to a promo back and forth between Batista and Orton. Orton kind of playing the face card and playing off of the crowd, telling Batista that really no one wants to see him and that his expectations have been dashed with how much the crowd hates his guts right now, which was kind of made it hard to hate Randy Orton in that moment, to be completely honest. Never thought I would say that at this point. After that, we had a Intercontinental Championship match between Big E and Cesaro. After a disqualification, Big E wins. He is still Intercontinental Champion. Jack Swagger randomly jumps in the ring and puts the Patriot Lock on Big E. This pisses off Cesaro. This is teasing a Real American split, which I talked about the other night, that it might be a good idea to split up the Real Americans, and especially with this push that Cesaro is getting lately. The crowd loves him. They've been talking about a rumored Cesaro-Swagger split for a couple months now. Surprised it's taken this long, but it's a good move, and rumored for WrestleMania is Cesaro and Swagger, which would be really fun. They're also talking a Hogan-Swagger feud, which would be cool to see too. Not sure how that would work since Hogan didn't pass his physical, but still Intercontinental Champion Big E, formerly Big E Langston. John Cena came out. He addressed the Wyatt family, called out Bray Wyatt, which is basically feeding into this whole Bray Wyatt-John Cena feud that really I don't think many people really want to see. But still, it's happening. Cena talked about how Bray Wyatt cost him a championship match at WrestleMania last night at the Elimination Chamber. He calls out Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Tells them that they're basically writing checks at their asses, that they can't cash. He wants Wyatt out there now. He wants to fight him. Out comes Bray Wyatt. The crowd is going crazy at this point. Cena and the Wyatts all fight. They fight. The Wyatts basically beat the holy shit out of John Cena. And looks like John Cena's really hurt. And word on the streets, a.k.a. the wrestling website circuit, is that Cena actually is really hurt. He does have a legit knee injury after this. This is putting the Cena-Wyatt match at WrestleMania in jeopardy, which may honestly be a good thing, because with this Shield Wyatt feud, I think it could be a good idea to have some kind of special match WrestleMania between Bray Wyatt, maybe Roman Reigns. But still, up to this point, Raw's been pretty good. Actually, Raw's been very good up to this point, to be honest. Christian versus Sheamus took place after this. Pretty good match. You could tell that both the guys were still pretty sore from last night, from the chamber match. Match was pretty back and forth. It was pretty violent. But that's what we want to see. We need some physicality. We need some violence right now in the WWE. Things are getting way too family friendly. It's really taken away from the product. That's why the Attitude Era did so well. It was violent. It was physical. It pushed the envelope. And the chamber last night, you could kind of see a little bit of that creeping back in. So it's good to see. After Sheamus won the match, we went to a promo of Renee Young interviewing Triple H and Stephanie as they pull in, come out of a limo, talking to them about the historic launch of the WWE Network. As they were being interviewed, Daniel Bryan comes running into the screen, completely random, just going off on Triple H, asking him what his problem is, screaming at him, telling him that he'll fight Triple H now, he'll fight Triple H at WrestleMania, which Triple H laughed off. Stephanie told Daniel Bryan to turn his focus onto Kane, because Kane is the one that screwed him on Sunday, not Triple H and Stephanie, which we all know that's who was behind it. He's got a match with Kane tonight, and he better focus, which, kind of true. But this is teasing Daniel Bryan Triple H match at WrestleMania, with Daniel Bryan replacing CM Punk, who is still not back with the company. Backstage, we got the Shield fighting with each other, Dean Ambrose arguing with the Shield and all that stuff, accusing the Shield of not trusting him, all that stuff. And Seth Rollins tells Ambrose to explain where he was during their six-man tag at the Elimination Chamber. Ambrose says he's tired of explaining himself, and he walks away. You can see the Shield split coming. I think they're all getting tired of Dean Ambrose's ego trip with him being the only champion in the Shield, even though he's only defended it twice, maybe twice. I think only once since he became the U.S. champion. They're getting tired of his bullshit. He's on an ego trip and all that stuff, and he's a freak. Bray Wyatt walked up and just creepily smiles at the Shield. Reigns challenged him to a one-on-one match later, and tells Bray that if he leaves the family behind, Reigns will leave the hounds behind. Wyatt accepts his challenge, and there we go. Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in a one-on-one match later that night. And pretty much a rematch from the night before. What better way to keep the momentum going than that way? Next up, we got Daniel Bryan and Kane. Obviously going to be a huge pop with the crowd, a huge crowd winner. Great match, very physical, of course. There's a lot of heat and a lot of animosity between the two, and it's kind of fun to watch the former tag team champions go against each other. The only thing that could make it better is if Kane actually came out in his ring attire instead of an Under Armour shirt with his suit pants. Make it look more legit, but still, Daniel Bryan wins, kicks out of a choke slam, which you could just see the shock on Kane's face, and as he kicks out, he runs into the corner, hits the running knee out of nowhere on the director of operations. 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan wins. After this, Daniel Bryan challenges Triple H again. But still, he demands Triple H gives him what he wants at WrestleMania, what the fans want. Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. Obviously, it's going to happen. They're just teasing it. I mean, let's face it. is going to happen. It's Austin versus McMahon all over again, but Bryan versus Triple H. And Triple H needs to get back in the ring. I know he had the concussions last year and all that stuff, but it's been a year. He's had time to recover. After this, we finally get to see Emma on national TV fighting Summer Rae. Typical Divas match, but still a little bit more excitement for the crowd getting to see Emma finally. It's been fun to watch Emma's dance competitions, even though dance competitions have no place in professional wrestling. It's been fun to watch and good to see her get into the ring, and she defeated Summer Rae. Obviously, because Summer Rae's not a wrestler. She's horrible. After this, we get the New Age Outlaws and the Usos as in a rematch from Sunday's Elimination Chamber match. Shortest match ever. After both teams come out, New Age Outlaws tell the Usos to leave the ring so they can do their intro promo. As Road Dogg Jesse James is finishing up his New Age Outlaws promo, he gets a super kick from the Usos. Jimmy or Jay, I still can't tell who's who, throws Billy Gunn out of the ring as his brother hits the flying the splash to defeat Road Dogg in what was probably a 30-second match, but still fun to watch. After this, we finally get Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt. Outstanding match. Part 2 from last night. Not as good as the night before, but still very impressive. You can tell that they're really, really, really pushing Roman Reigns. For some reason, we got a Randy Savage chant. We've got an Undertaker chant. I'm not sure why. Well, this was an outstanding match. The only downfall was that it ended via disqualification, unfortunately, when the Wyatts came out and the Shield came out and attacked each other and eventually attacked both, competitors. Ending the match, Bray Wyatt wins by disqualification. This is definitely setting up some splits and some matches and feuds for WrestleMania. It's a great rivalry. I really think they need to keep this one going as long as they can. Give the crowd something that they actually want to see, since they're obviously not doing anything with Daniel Bryan, even though they need to. Still, it's been fun to watch. After this, Brock Lesnar comes out with Paul Heyman. I'm not sure why Lesnar is even around because he's not wrestling. He's wrestled maybe 1 or 2 matches since he came back. I think 1 when he beat the Big Show at the Royal Rumble. I mean, if you're not going to wrestle, don't come back, Brock Lesnar. Seriously, come on. I don't know if you're hurt or if you just don't want to wrestle. You don't talk. Do something. We get informed that Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad is going to be the guest host next month in Chicago, promoting his Need for Speed movie. Not sure why. Whatever. Brock Lesnar comes down to the ring with Paul Heyman. Lesnar doesn't talk, as always. Paul Heyman does all of the talking about how Lesnar is the real number 1 contender for WrestleMania, for the heavyweight title. How Lesnar will fight anybody who's willing to take the chance and come down to the ring. And as he finishes that sentence, the Undertaker's music hits. And here is the dead man, the Phenom, looking better than ever, slowly walking to the ring. The chants, Taker, Taker, break out. The lights come on. And Undertaker walks up to Brock Lesnar. Lesnar signs the contract and gives the Undertaker the pen. Very dramatic. As the Undertaker takes the pen from Lesnar, he stabs the pen through Lesnar's hand, signing the contract, which was probably the best WWE television I have seen in almost a year. Outstanding. That is Attitude Era worthy right there. And after he stabs the pen with Lesnar's hand in the pen, chokeslams Lesnar through the table, thus ending the show. Undertaker's got a nice shaved head mohawk, beautiful black goatee, looking better than ever. You can tell he's been training for well over a year for this last WrestleMania run. His music hits as the holy shit chant breaks out from the crowd. Michael Cole says, "I'll take that as a yes." And we're off the air as the Undertaker walks back up the ramp. Overall, my thoughts on tonight's Raw. The WWE had to put on a good show after last night's Elimination Chamber, as I said earlier. If they didn't, the crowd wasn't even going to stick around for much longer. I think I speak for everybody when I say that we're all getting sick and tired of seeing the exact same thing week after week and pay-per-view after pay-per-view. We know exactly what's going to happen. There are no surprises. We knew Batista was going to win the Royal Rumble. We knew that Randy Orton was going to win the Chamber. We knew that Orton and Batista were going to go at it at WrestleMania in the main event. We knew CM Punk was getting pissed off and frustrated and sick of everything. We knew he was talking about leaving. WWE didn't do anything to stop that from happening. They're letting so many things leak. They're not paying attention to what the WWE Universe really wants. Sure, keep Daniel Bryan down for a little bit. That makes sense. But from August to February, that's almost a year. That's 6-7 months. That's just ridiculous. Fans are getting tired. We know what's going to happen at each pay-per-view. We know that Daniel Bryan is going to come close to winning. We know that Kane or the Authority or the Wyatts are going to come out and either distract him or screw him over in some way and let Randy Orton win with a cheap RKO. I mean, we know exactly what's going to happen. Give us a surprise. Take us off guard. Push the envelope. Ever since the WWE bought out WCW, there has been no competition, which means that the guys have nowhere else to go if they lose their jobs, which means they're not being pushed. They have no motivation to really push the envelope and try, because they know that if they do, they're out of a job completely, or they'll go down to the Indies, or God forbid, they'll go to TNA, where all wrestlers go to die. It's just ridiculous. Hopefully, this week's Raw was a good sign of what's to come. This was a very good Raw. If you look at the poll on Facebook, 93% of fans thought this was a good Raw. It was a step in the right direction. Obviously, when The Undertaker is back and in the picture, things are going to go in the right direction. Fans are going to tune in and watch. I would expect huge ratings from tonight's Raw. In all honesty, I would love to see it come out that The Undertaker is Sister Abigail in a weird, creepy way and controlling the Wyatts. I would love to see The Undertaker versus Kane, putting Kane in his place at WrestleMania. That would be perfect. Why not do another WWE, WCW, ECW invasion storyline where we actually get the dream matches everybody wanted in the first place and do it right? And in this case, have WCW and ECW win the takeover for about a month of them running the show. And then you'd have Team WWE represented by, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, The Undertaker, Triple H, with The Rock and Austin being the GMs and captains of Team WWE. You'd have Team WCW with Goldberg and DDP and all these guys that were in WCW. You'd have Team ECW with RVD and the Dudleys and all these guys led by Paul Heyman and Taz. It would be perfect. Or do a TNA invasion and do it the right way, where the TNA has all the former WWE superstars that left. They have MVP and Jeff Hardy and Bubba Ray, Bully Ray. It would be Mr. Anderson or Kennedy, whatever his name is now. It'd be perfect. And have it go through, have it actually work, and not do it as a slap in the face because the WWE bought them out. Then after about a month, have the WWE make its triumphant comeback. But we need to either put Ring of Honor on national TV, or have Ring of Honor and TNA team up, or do the Ring of Honor New Japan thing as a competition, because the WWE needs some competition in order to be really good again. That's just the way that's just the way it is. There's no motivation for them to be good. They can be dormant in how bad they are because, like I said, the talent has nowhere to go if they don't make it, if they get fired. Coming out of Raw, we got some rumored matches. We got some confirmed matches. Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker is going to happen. Even though The Undertaker specifically requested Daniel Bryan, he's fighting Brock Lesnar. Nobody wants to see that. Also, we got the WWE World Heavyweight title match between Randy Orton and Batista. Again, a match nobody really wants to see. Likely Triple H and Daniel Bryan, and likely Cesaro versus Jack Swagger. I'm going to throw it out there now. Naomi and AJ for the WWE Divas title. Naomi wins it. And probably another Shield Probably another Shield Wyatt match since John Cena's hurt and probably isn't going to be able to go for WrestleMania next month with a knee injury. It looks pretty serious. That's what I'm calling for WrestleMania right now. Though don't be surprised if you see Daniel Bryan get thrown into the WrestleMania main event. That way fans have something to watch. I mean, if it stays like this, fans they're either not going to buy it or they're going to stop watching before the main event because they don't give a shit. What did you guys all think about Raw tonight from February 24th? And what do you think about the way WrestleMania is shaping up? Sound off in the comments, let me know.